Hey video warriors, Craig here, and big day here today for two reasons. Remember all this concrete for all the verandas and all these pillars across the back and the front, and it's gotten to be about an inch, even 2 inches thick in some areas, because we've been mixing the concrete actually on the ground here, and we actually need to bring this area up and start putting some palms in and some landscaping on this side. We don't need to be doing the concrete on this side anymore. They're mixing stuff on the front decks and the verandas. So we have got these guys out here today, and they are digging it up and sticking it in those big ravines out on the far side of the house, on the other side of the house down there, those big gullies, and just trying to fill some of that up. But it's a big day. It means that we don't have to be mixing huge amounts of concrete the way we used to, and we still have a big mix coming up for the arches on the front though. So that's going to be mixed up in the front, probably over here where you can actually see the concrete where the shadow area is there. They'll probably mix it down there, and it's going to be a pretty big thing because it's 12 inches wide, the actual arches, okay, because the iron up on the top up there is 9 inches, and this iron down here is 8, so it actually sits in really close to those irons that are sticking up out of these big pillars here. But we're starting the arches, and it's a big milestone for us. So you can see that one's not perfect. They've got it up there, but I've cut out a template out of 5/8 inch plywood, and each one of these is a different sort of size. They're relatively close, but they're not all exact. So I came through and actually measured all of them and actually put numbers. You can actually see it on the pillars itself. I've written in charcoal, actually. Sorry about that. The sun is just, it's about 4:30 right now, and the sun is just behind the house, and I got this camera into the sun here. But you can see that's number 3 and what the actual size is. So they've got the M1 up there, but what they're doing is they are coming through and using the template that I gave them, all right? And once they get all these up there, then they'll come through with the long pieces of cottonwood. They're 14 inches by 1 inch by 12 inches wide. And they'll just stick them on the sides and just screw them in. And all this will be, you see all these sticks, they're going to use those sticks to actually keep the mold in the perfect spot. So when the concrete hits it, then it doesn't bow or anything like that. So we still need to do this one tomorrow, and one over there, and then one on the side, and then the 2 going into the house. You can see it under there. It's going into the house. So it's a big milestone for us, and yeah, I just wanted to bring you up to speed with where we were on that, and everything is looking pretty good out here. Got this little coconut palm that was out near the Buffer, and we decided to actually stick it out here on the side of the house. These don't get too big. They'll get about 15 feet and about a 7-foot spread on them. So they're 8 feet away from the house, so they'll never touch the house. And they're very slow growing anyway, and we've got a couple of queen sagos that are going to be going on either side of them eventually, and a bunch of bushes up near the front of the house. So it'll look nice when it's landscaped. There is the toilet area that we were working on about a week and a half ago, and there, out sticking up out of the ground, you can see it, that is the smell, okay? And usually they would put it right on top of the septic, but I didn't want it right on top of it. I wanted to actually go away from it because I never want to smell anything out of this septic tank. Not that you will, but I just didn't want to do it. We'll come in and do the concrete manhole covers at some point. We're going to be using a lid off of a 55 gallon drum that's actually quite decorative, and we're just going to fill that up with concrete upside down and flip it over and put 2 handles over the top of it and let it dry, and then cut them off. They're actually quite inexpensive, and they'll be actually quite decorative on the top. They're round instead of the square, so at least they'll look nice when they're out here. I guess you just have to think about things like that, but that's just the way I think anyway. But there's the shower line, the actual toilet line, sorry, coming in out of the house, and on the other side there's another one right over there from the far bathroom on the far side of the house above the kitchen. So they'll all be flown in there. Eventually there'll be a few more pipes coming out along the side there. We might just put them side by side, just run them underneath, and it will go out there. Okay, so all the showers, all the sinks in the house, any water that's not toilet water will go down the side of the property here. All right, so that's about it. We've got a bunch of palms that we bought, and they're actually looking quite good out there, and they're actually quite inexpensive. They're 5,000 leones each, which is 50 cents. Okay, it's 50 cents on the dollar. Okay, so in British sterling it's about 40p for each one of those palms of that size. You know, you can't even touch those over in the United States for probably under, you know, 10 bucks, 15 bucks, that size anyway. So that's about it. It's been a beautiful day here today. The rain, I do believe, has stopped, and we are getting back into the dry season, which is great. That means we can start getting into the floor on the house on the inside. So once we get the arches up on there and finish off the back side here, I'll show it to you. I'm going to walk around the back of the house. I'll turn the camera around away from the sun because it's directly in my face right now. And I'll show you what the back of the house looks like. You can see all the big trees starting to come in. Those are country palms. Those go really thin and okay, tall. Everybody. So I've come around the other side of the house so you can see what's going on. You can see the fellas there and where they're digging all that up. You just don't know how much that means to us to be able to get that up like that. It's sitting there for almost since February, and it's now November 12th, and it's about time that it actually gets out of there, and they're doing a good job getting it out. So here's what the back of the house is looking like, and we've got to still come through over here and put the beams in across the top of those two there and run them into the house. And then this one is actually going up to meet this one up on the top up there. All right, so this one up here and this one is going to be a big arch there with a big pitch. So the back of this house is actually quite formidable, more than the front. The front is very stately looking. This is the big living area out back here. I had a rethink the other day on what we were going to do on the patio, and I redid it and put the stairs in. This area around here, these palms, these are the ones that are 50 cents. They go out in the bush and they just dig them up. Okay, so these are big Masankis, and the one on the other side and the one over there. They'll get sort of like that one right over there. Okay, they'll get big and broad, and they will overhang the pool area. So right in this area here, these palms are all following the pool line. You've got the lines all down here, and this is where the pool is going to be dug out, and it's going to go right over through where those blocks are, through that wood pile and around, and curve around this palm here and come around in this area. So it's going to be actually quite a nice big pool here. You might as well just do it big if you're going to do it once the guys are out here digging it. It's going to be 6 feet over in this side, and it's going to gradually come up to 3 feet, 2 feet, 1 foot, and just in this area here will be about 6 to 7 inches all along here. So it'll be very light. We're going to paint it white on the bottom, so you know it's going to be a very nice sparkle blue to it, especially on a day like today, which you've got a beautiful blue sky. It just matches, and it will actually go from very light blue down to a darker blue out in this area. 4 sort of laps up and back and forth. And there's a lot of young children that we've got in our family here, and they would be great to be able to sit up here on the patio, or even up on the decks up there, and you'll be able to see into the pool and you'll be able to watch them playing. And because it's a gentle slope down, they will not feel like they're in over their head, because a lot of Sierra Leoneans, they don't know how to swim, which is quite interesting. And that's just the way it is, and for safety reasons, and it actually makes it look quite cool. And this is going to be an infinity pool, which means that there's going to be a double wall out here on this side. So it'll be raised up just a little bit, and there'll be a gully in between with a lower block, and the water will fall right into the outside. So it will, it looks like there's no edge to the pool. It's going to be quite cool. It's about 2 or 3 years or more away. But these palms, as they grow up, they will overhang the pool, which will be quite cool, and try and keep it as shady as possible. And all these palms up in this area along around the patio area, and we've got another palm just behind. We might put 1 or 2 palms up on the patio and just brick around them, and allow some big masankis up on the top there, just for shade. Okay, so it's cheap enough. We can get them this size, like this, or like this. So you could probably get them just a little bit bigger than that and stick them up on the patio. But this is where they're going. You can see Abu out there in the distance. He is taking the wheelbarrows full of junk and sticking it down into those big ravines down there. And those are going to be covered up anyway, because we're going to make it a very shallow slope. Okay, so it's all the edges are going to be cut off here and actually gently slope down so that the water has more of a chance. But that is what is going on. The wood will be coming off of the stairway tomorrow. That's right up in here. Okay, so they've got some of it off, but most of it is not, because they don't have any supports in between the windows holding them up. So they just wanted to make sure that it was actually dry, so we're leaving it an extra day. So tomorrow, which is Friday, we'll take all the boards off, and when that happens, I will show you what it looks like. And yeah, that is where we are. So you can see how much sun the back deck and everything gets back here, because the sun sets behind my back here. And yeah, this back veranda is actually a really good place, and the one up under the deck there is good till about 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then you need to vacate from under there because it gets so blooming hot. And you need to transfer yourself to the front veranda, where the house will actually block the sun and it will be nice and cool. So that is about it for this video right now, guys. I really appreciate so that's about it for this video right now. It's still nice and green here. It is almost mid-November and getting into December, and January comes hammer time, where the winds from North Africa actually start coming down here, and it's going to get a little bit windy. But there you go. At least some of the palms will actually have been seeded in, and they won't bend over too terribly much. But there's nothing wrong with palms bending just a little bit, and if they look cool, we'll just leave them like that. And that's how palms actually get the characteristic bends to them by the wind pushing them over a little bit. So that is about it for us, and we will see you in other videos real soon. So see you. Bye. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. I just wanted to point a few things out to you that are going on with these arches before they put the fronts on. Because once they put the front on, you will not see the arches anymore, because they're going to be covered up until we actually take all the boards off, and you'll be able to see the concrete arches. All right. So this house does not actually call for rabbit edges over the pillars. Rabbit edge is this, where it actually steps in. So it's a little decorative thing. And the guys actually got up there and actually did them today. We didn't do any of the corners yet. But all the other things are done, and then we'll put the board over the top of it. We'll be going up just about 2 feet 2.5 feet, and then step out just a little bit again with the board, leave a little bit of a small rabbit edge, and then go up to the inside wall height. And that way we will be able to run all the 2x8s in for the roof underneath the veranda. Okay, so that is about it. I wanted to show it to you before we actually got all the boards on, and document it to make sure that you saw what it is that is happening. This is the African way of doing the arches, and these guys have been filing down and planing all these boards to make sure we get a nice smooth finish on this, so that they don't have to do too much finishing on these. But yeah, there is the same arch. I'm standing directly in front of the front door, and it's the same arch as the transom, so everything will match. All right, so that's it for this video, and we will see you in other videos real soon. Okay, all right, see ya. Bye for now.